Hello, I'm David Matthews and this is my treasure chest. I've got quite a variety of things to show you in here today. There's a chessboard and there's some fairly traded rice and there's a small measuring beaker. And then there's this contraption here with some marbles that I'll show you in a moment and various weights. This is a 2 pound weight here, and then a heavier one that's doubled in size, which is a 4 pound weight. And then this is the last. This is hugely heavy. Actually, it says it's the last. It says Snow's Handy Last. And it's a very heavy weight, and I'm just going to put it here on the table. You can hear the weight of that. But the very first thing that I want to show you is this, which is a small tile that we found in the garden. And I've no idea where it came from, but we've lived here for many, many years, and then suddenly we found this in the grass. How could it have arrived in the garden? I've no idea. So I brought it indoors, and it's sat again for several years on the top of the thermostat in the kitchen. I have no idea why we left it there, but there it was. But who would have thought that this letter R was going to have such an effect on our lives? We knew nothing of the letter R last year, but now we hear about it all the time. All sorts of government policies are being dependent on whether or not it's more or less than 1. Of course, the R value is the number of people infected by any person with COVID-19. Greater than 1 and the epidemic is increasing, and less than 1 and the epidemic is dying away. Well, if R gets to 2, then we have a classic logarithm illustrated by the fable of the chessboard and the rice. Let me show you this. A wise man plays an Indian Maharaja chess on the agreement that if he wins, the king will give him rice, 1 grain on the first square of the chessboard, 2 on the second, and double again on the third, and so on. So that's 4, 8, 16, 32, and so on. Now, what the king didn't know was that in the year 2020, this would be referred to as an R of 2. The rice pile grows exponentially, or what some call a doubling scale. By the time we reach square 64, we would need, mathematically, 2 raised to the power 63 grains of rice, just on the last square, and double that for the whole board. That's this very large number of grains of rice. Now, if we measure this out in cubic kilometres, that's a kilometre by a kilometre by a kilometre, we end up with about 615 cubic kilometres. That amount of rice would fill in a large part of the English Channel. Now, another way of looking at this is a cascade, which is what I have here to illustrate that starting small can have a bigger and bigger effect. So here, let's get this out of the treasure chest and take it over here, and I'll set this up so that you can see what's going on. So I've set this up, and let me explain how it works. This is a cascade. I will roll this small marble down here where the arrow is, and it hits a lever here, which lifts up this lever, and these marbles roll down here where this arrow shows. That hits this lever here, which comes up, and allows these 2 big marbles to come down into here. This then lifts up, and leaves a 1 pound weight comes swinging over here, which in turn releases a 2 pound weight, which comes round here, and releases a 4 pound weight, which finally leaves the 8 pound weight of the last. Well, let's see if it works. Here is the marble, and we'll roll it down here. Well, let's see that again in slow motion. So why am I showing you this? It's because over 2 millennia, the good news of Jesus Christ has been spreading like a cascade. And the reason that it will continue to spread is related to the fact that many will come to Jesus because faithful disciples down the years have experienced the love of God and have passed the good news on. The Christian cascade down the centuries is the spreading of this good news, the gospel, by those whose lives have been transformed and who have encouraged others by word and deed. We sometimes think we're too small a marble in the cascade of life to make any difference at all. But we'd be wrong. In our daily lives, yours and mine, we can begin a new cascade every day by small acts of loving kindness or generosity, or saying the right word. What we say and what we do cascades down into the future. For the good news is that the love of God is available to all and that God's kingdom will grow. So do roll that metaphorical marble today and every day. Join the good news cascade.